Hello and welcome back to the Trainers of the World Tournament. I'm your host DeltaTDS, and today we've got the Pokemon Trainer Trace going up against the Pokemon Trainer Ryuki. Ignore that. Ryuki would have taken round 1 2-0 if it wasn't for your Kiawe and his nasty plots Focus Sash Salazzle completely sweeping Ryuki's team. That's one thing Kiawe's gonna always hold over him. But Trace, nothing memorable about him. He's got a generic Gen 1 team. He's got Mega Pidgeot to leech off of Blue. He's got Jolteon. Again, nothing very memorable about this kid. Once these trainers are ready, we can begin match 86. Oh yeah, Ryuki has a Z Crystal, which I don't think has been shown off yet. Trace leading off with that Marowak. Ryuki leading off with Garchomp. Garchomp, a very strong Pokemon. Wait, I thought the males have notches in the fin. Wait, what? Marowak's Earthquake dealing 84% to Garchomp, as Crunch deals a little over a third to Marowak. Garchomp go for Crunch, getting another third off, as Brick Break does take out the Garchomp, but Rough Skin brings Marowak down to 12%. Even if this is a recording, no one does. Ryuki sitting out that Dragonite. Probably the 1000th Dragonite we've seen in this tournament. I mean, Dragonite's a pretty popular Pokemon. It's got one of the best abilities in the game. Dragonite going for Dragon Dance. Fire Punch gonna deal 11% to Dragonite. Not doing squat to it. Setting up another Dragon Dance, go for another Fire Punch, dealing about a quarter this time. Dragonite with its own Fire Punch, gonna take out the Marowak. This thing is at +2 attack and speed. Very strong, very fast. Dragon Rush, very risky move. Gonna take out the Rapidash, but you know what? If it works, it works. Trace sending out the Vileplume here. Probably the second one we've seen in this tournament. First one being used by Erica. Fire Punch gonna take out Vileplume, but gets that effect score off, putting Dragonite to sleep. Not gonna keep him asleep for long, at most 3 turns, as I've just learned. Hurricane gonna bring Dragonite down to 4%, get that confusion off too. Wakes up, but does hurt itself in its confusion. And Dragonite falls. Currently 3v4 right now. Ryuki sending out that Drampa here. The only one we've seen in the tournament. Pidgeot going for U-turn. Interesting move. Switching into the Jolteon to take that Thunder. Very smart play for Trace here. I'll give him that. Jolteon going for Discharge. Going to do 20% and get that Paralysis. Dragon Pulse going to deal about 2/3 to Jolteon. Another Discharge takes Trampa down to 50%. My brain's breaking, hold on. Drampa's Berserk activates, raising a special attack, and that Hyper Voice takes out the Jolteon. Trace sending back out that Pidgeot. Drampa is paralyzed, and a Hurricane takes out the Drampa. Ryuki's down to 3 Pokemon as Trace has 2 left. this Pidgeot and Slowbro. Ryuki sending out that Tyrantrum. They're terrifying looking Pokemon. You two are going to deal 12%, switching out to the Slowbro, as Tyrantrum goes for Dragon Dance. You don't want to see this thing dancing up a storm. Go for Dragon Claw, but Slowbro still somehow takes out this Tyrantrum. Now up to Como, going for the Z move. Langorous Soul Blaze takes out the Slowbro, and Como gets +1 in every stat. Dear God, this thing is terrifying. This thing's got higher stats than I think most Pokemon now. Thing Scales does take out Pidgeot, and Ryuki takes game number 1. Yeah, that Z move is just the definition of power creep. That and Tinkaton's little funny move. We didn't see much from Garchomp. We didn't see anything from Turtonator. We saw the Z move from Como finally. And then for Trace's side, we saw nothing from Vileplume, nothing from Rapidash, and we saw barely anything from Slowbro and Jolteon. We are back on the field for game number 2. Oh, that's right, we did see Effect Sport happen from Vileplume. But once these trainers are ready, we can begin game 2 and see if Ryuki's gonna choke another game 2. Trace sending out that Rapidash, Ryuki sending out the Drampa. Rapidash going for Drill Run, getting a 3rd off on that Drampa. Hyper Voice going to deal 84% to Rapidash. Activating Drampa's Berserk. And Hyper Voice finishes off that Rapidash. Trace sending out the Pidgeot here. You saw quite a bit from it. Hurricane does take out that Drampa. That Hurricane plus the No Guard ability does quite a lot for Pidgeot here. Ryuki sending out that Dragonite. Pidgeot going for Tailwind as Thunder Punch deals 83% to that Pidgeot. Gonna be faster than this Dragonite. Going for a Dragon Rush through the confusion. And it takes out that Pidgeot with the crit. I don't think that crit mattered, but you can never be too safe. Trace sending out the Jolteon. Jolteon getting that discharge off, not getting the paralysis though. Dragonite's down to 13%. A Shadow Ball does finish off that Dragonite, and the Tailwind peters out, leaving Trace's team pretty slow. Ryuki sends out that Garchomp. Jolteon's not going to be a fan of it, as it goes for Poison Jab. Shadow Ball going to deal another 27, as Poison Jab finishes off that Garchomp. Trace sending out that Marowak. You've seen this thing do quite a bit to this Marowak. Poison Jab gonna do about 20 as Earthquake finishes off Garchomp. Ryuki sending out this Como, going for that Z move, Langorous Soul Blaze. Taking out the Marowak, getting the +1 on all the stats. God, that really is just a broken move. Reminds me, we haven't seen Ilma's Extreme Evo Boost. Spoilers, by the way. But goes for Clanging Scales, losing that defense. Moonblast, it's surviving it, thanks to that special defense boost. Vileplume, not in a good situation here. Had one job and it couldn't do it right. Hanging Scales takes out Vileplume, and Slowbro is the last line of defense for Trace. Gonna be taking 80% from that Como, but it does take it out, and now it's got 2 Pokemon to take on. Head Smash does take out Slowbro, and Tyrantrum helps Ryuki take a game number 2, which means he goes on to round 3. He's one of the only Dragon users to go on to round 3, actually. But he will be going on to round 3, where he will be facing off against Lieutenant Surge. So that's going to be a fun match to watch. Join us tomorrow, where we will be seeing Wickstrom versus Watson. Drake did win, so he's the second Dragon-type trainer to go on. But thank you so much for watching, and until then, take care.